Well, at April's RSA conference, AI was unsurprisingly a major focus. And Art Gilliland, CEO of identity security platform Delinea, told JD Durkin why it has the industry so excited. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I mean, AI is like the thing people are talking about it at RSA, and it's because it's made such a huge impact on businesses. You see just extraordinary sort of performance improvements and a lot of efficiency gains with it. But it also means that the security industry is going to start using that too. And so, of course, companies like us build it into our products to make the products better, but the bad guys are also using it to attack us. And so AI has become this thing that every customer is talking about because it makes such a big difference in the productivity of their businesses.
How do you define strong identity security posture? And what does that mean for the overall space?
Yeah, I think look outside of AI, when you think about identity security, you're looking at sort of a person's rights to make changes or do something in the environment. And so what you're looking at is what is their posture? What can they do and what do they actually do? And what do they need to do their job? And so the focus of companies like ours is to help sort of reduce the number of things that they have access to if they don't need to use them. And so that's basically what it means by posture. I've given you exactly the right entitlements. I give you the exactly right amount of rights to be able to do things in the enterprise and no more.
Art, so many of the conversations we've had here at RSAC, it's not just about artificial intelligence. It's about agentic AI more specifically. Right. Talk to me about where you see both the opportunities as well as the risks for agentic AI.
Yeah, so if you sort of separate the two, you have the ChatGPT type of AI, which is a big model. You ask questions to it. It actually can be pretty valuable, and companies like ours are building it into our products. But you also look at this thing that they're calling agentic AI. And basically what that is going to be is an interconnection of a bunch of different interactions that go to data sources, go to workflow within a business. And then this thing can then make decisions based on the data and based on what is happening in the environment. And so those independent sort of actors in our world become sort of privileged users. They are able to assess data, they're able to analyze it, and then make decisions on what should happen, and then they can actually make it happen. And so those workloads or those interconnections of a bunch of different sort of sources and processes is really what an agent or agentic AI is, these little sort of independent operators essentially within your environment.
Art, what are some of the biggest misconceptions that companies still have about the general space as well as identity security more specifically?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you hear a ton of information about sort of the cyber threat and the cyber landscape and all the attacks that happen. But the reality is like the bad guys don't really break in anymore. They just log in. And they do that because it's just easier to steal a password or steal credentials from application. And then the other benefit, in addition to it just being cheaper and easier, is that once you log in as a credentialed user in an environment, you're basically invisible to all of the other sort of security controls that are there. And so the bad guys have really moved and focused their ideas really around trying to take advantage of identity and identity sort of compromise as a way to break in. And so companies need to sort of step away from all of the other infrastructure they're thinking about because 8 out of 10 breaches include some sort of credential breach and really zero in on that sort of identity security area because it is the biggest place that companies are being attacked right now.
How do you feel that Delinea is uniquely positioned to help companies navigate a lot of the uncertainty currently facing the general cybersecurity community?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have really focused in on identity security, and we're the only cloud-native platform that helps them do that. So it's really fast to deploy, really easy to use. We create a lot less friction for the users, and so they don't try to get around it, so they actually use it. And so when you're easy to deploy, fast to use, and the employees can use it effectively, they actually use it, and therefore you're more secure. And so we're very focused on helping companies sort of secure all identities, whether they're the humans that are working in your environment or even the machines that are working in your environment. So that agentic AI type of stuff that's going on.
Thanks again to Delinea's CEO, Art Gilliland, and JD Durkin for that interview in San Francisco.